Today I'm going to talk to you guys about a resource called Pear. And Pear is a teacher resource for making class interactive through asking questions and having students respond in different ways. And this can be used in class, it can be used asynchronously or for homework, and it can also be teacher-paced or student-paced, and it's super cool. So it is mainly used with Google Slides, so if you are to use this resource, make sure you have a Google account and also make sure that your students have a Google account. And so in order to obtain it, first of all, it's a free resource and it's found online, so it's super cool, super easy, takes less than a minute. You just go to peardeck.com and then you log in and link your Google account with it. And once you log in, it'll instantly install and you'll have access to it when you go to your Google Slides. And so over here, I have a Google Slides and it should show up under the add-ons tab up here, and then it should say Pear Deck for Google Slides. And then once you open it, it should show up over here on the right side. And once it shows up, you can add questions that you can ask your students, and they can answer in different ways. So for example, there's the text version where they type something out, there's multiple choice, there's numbers, you can add a website, you can have them draw or drag, stuff like that. And so you can choose what slides you use for Pear Deck. So some of the slides would be Pear Deck slides and some wouldn't. If it is a Pear Deck slide, it would say so at the bottom down here, and then it should tell your students also that it's a Pear Deck slide, and it will tell them write their response. And so something to note is that what shows up on the teacher slide isn't necessarily what shows up on the student slide. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what shows up on the student slide. So I'm going to start the lesson. And as I said, there were student-paced and instructor-paced activities. Usually student-paced is like the asynchronous version or the homework version, whereas teacher-based is for in class. And so I'm going to go to joinpd.com as a student. So this is going to be my student side, this is going to be my teacher side. And then I'd enter the code, and then on the teacher side, you would wait for your students, and once you see them there, you'd start class. And then on the student side, it'll ask you how you're feeling today, and then the presentation would show up on both sides, right? And as a teacher, as I go through the presentation, it would move for the student, and this could be done on their laptops or their phones. And like I said, some slides are Pear Deck slides and some aren't. So this one is a Pear Deck slide, and this one is like one where you can answer your question. So over here, it asks the question. You can also just ask the question out loud. And then the student would answer it. And so this is what would show up on the student side. And you could say, you could answer the questions as a student. Can't talk and type at the same time. And then you can choose to go back to the question. You can change your answer, stuff like that. And on the teacher side, you can see people's responses. And the cool thing about this is that you can see your student responses without having like the students see each other's responses. So it's kind of an independent thing, but also a group thing. And so this is an example of like a multiple choice one. And like I said, it would tell you how many responses of your students have responded, and you can move on and go from there. And you can talk about like people had like wrong answers, stuff like that. And so that's super cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'll call it demonstration Zoom. And so I would end my session, and the cool thing is on the student side, it says how to go. Go ahead and X that out. But as a teacher, you can see your progress, whether it's individually or as a group. So if I would look at this student, you can see her answers like that. And then you can see all your sessions from the past, and you can track kind of activity based off of which ones, like you can track your Pear Deck PowerPoints, stuff like that. So that's super cool. And so another cool thing about Pear Deck is that it has these other features called pop-up activities and Pear Deck vocabulary. And these are basically the same thing where it would ask you to do a class activity. The only difference is that it's not connected with a Google slide. So it was the same thing where the students would go to the website and type it in, and the activity would happen. It's just not connected with the Google slide. So those are other cool add-ons. And I just thought Pear Deck was super cool. I was introduced to it over the summer when I had an internship, and I thought that not many people at A&M have used it before or heard about it, and so I wanted to present about it. I think it's super convenient and interactive. It's really appropriate for today's teaching methods because we use a lot of technology and a lot of PowerPoints, Google Slides, and so I thought it was super an awesome addition, and it's great for everybody, and it is also a great way to track student progress. I think the website is very well equipped, and so I hope you guys choose to use Pear Deck in your future classrooms. Thank you.